So I recently acquired this here knife, but it's a very strange knife because first of all the blade is very chunky right up here at the top, and then it gets thinner, you know, like a normal knife in a tapered shape. But the weird thing is the handle also gets thinner. So if you can see here, this is where the blade is, and it's really chunky, and as it tapers down into the handle, and then right at the end here, it's really thin. So I'm not sure what it is, so I thought, this is such a weird shape, maybe it's just a handmade custom knife. But it actually has some markings on there. I'm not sure if you can see. There's like a little picture and then it says Sheffield, so I presume it's Sheffield steel then. So I'm going to try and transform it into something usable, and the first problem is it is not straight at all. So I need to remove the handle, which are two old pieces of leather and well worn out, with 3 rivet type things going through the handle, and there's only 2 left. So I'll remove the 2 rivets, remove the handle, straighten it up, and then I have 2 pieces of wood. I have a chunk of mahogany, and I'm not sure what this wood is, but I think it would match quite nicely with the shiny metal, and it's nice and tough. So the first thing is these 2 rivets are holding on this old piece of leather, and I'm just going to cut them off with the hacksaw. There's one. And there's 2. So now get this handle removed, and we can see the true shape of the knife, and how you can see there how the blade is thick and then it gets thinner as it goes down to the tip of the handle. You can also see how bent it is. Now I don't have an anvil, but the closest thing I do have is this here chunk of metal. Now this is just a big cuboid of metal, weighs about 4 kilos, and an anvil is just a big chunk of metal, so I'm going to try and flatten it on this here block. Very loud. There we go, nice and straight. So the next thing to fix is the fact that on the end of the knife here, if you can see there, the metal is all bent and like curled over. So I need to uncurl it here so I can get a nice flat piece. So I'm going to try and knock that out with a chisel and then flatten it on the anvil. So I've flattened the blade and got rid of the curl at the end and flattened the holes here, and nice and straight, and I'm going to clean it up here mostly at the sander, and there's a bit of a rough edge on the back here, so I'll try and straighten that a bit. Can now use the wire wheel in the drill just to clean up most of the metal. And now I can use a smaller brass wheel. So I've brought the knife back to the sander here. I'm just going to try and get it back to solid bare metal. So here we have the knife, lovely and shiny. So here, this is what the bare metal looks like on both sides. And now you can see why I think the mahogany handle won't look as nice as this orangey sort of one. So I'm going to do the orangey one, but to do that I need the block, and then I'll need to do a straight edge and then trace around the knife as such. Sharp! Oh. Booger. Here we have the knife and part of the handle, and I've marked the positions. It'll go like that. So the handle goes on like this, and I've marked the positions for the holes, and I'm going to drill 2 holes, and I'm going to attempt to make my own rivets using some nails. So I'll chop off the point and the head and just hammer them, then I'll hopefully spread and act as a rivet. Now that I have all the pieces made, I just need to assemble them. So take this piece and put it through the pins. There we go. And then place the top piece on. What have I done wrong? Done something wrong. I've put it on the wrong side. In such. And put this piece, that one, and that one. And so we have the finished knife. Yeah, it didn't really work. The holes were so close to the edge, they just kept splitting as such, so I just broke it all off, and I'm going to make a completely new one. And this is where I got to with the previous knife with 2 handle pieces on and the pins through. So now I just need to chop, chop, hammer, hammer. And that didn't work either. Way, hey. So the handle just, yeah, the pins just did not work. 3rd time lucky. There we go, all done. So it's 2 pieces of spruce, and I really like this kind because if you can see there, it's nice wee orange streaks and it's got a wavy pattern to it. Doesn't look very, well, it does look quite nice with the even brass screws added. There you go, there's the branding. So now I just have to sharpen it because right now it's completely blunt. So to start off, I'm just going to get a rough edge on it, something that'll cut anything. This right now is just so blunt, so I'm just going to use this and shaper. So now to put a really nice sharp edge, I've got my whetstone / sharpening stone, whatever you call it, they're all pretty much the same, but this one you just have to wet, and I'm just going to do the edge now. Get it lubed up. There we go. And now I've flipped over to the 6000 grit side to do the final sharpening. So now it's fully sharpened, and I'm just going to use some oil on the blade just to help it, to stop it from rusting. Soak it up. So I'm going to test the sharpness of this knife, and I've got some big chunks of log here, and I'm just going to use the knife and just scrape off the bark. So thank you for watching, and I don't just restore things, I also make things and fix things. So if you want, you can go watch some of my other videos, and they'll be down below, and hit subscribe if you want.